This is our input. Let's hear this in action. So this is EFX motions. They've got everything here from these cool sort of ambient style things. There's a ton of presets. To glitches, to swinging, to mixing, you name it. There's some weird sci-fi stuff in here that just has bizarre sounds. And it's all coming from that input. So really, really amazing. I actually have some more track here. So here's a bass pluck. I mean, it gets really amazing what this can transform, what you put into it, into. So the basic premise is you have these different envelopes, and let's go ahead and take us back to just the chords. And let me organize myself a bit here. So we're going to be messing with just the chords, and in here, we've got it all soloed up. We're going to go to a default patch. So the way you do that, I keep thinking I can right click up here and then just go to it. I wish there was one up here. But if you come over to the side, there is a new preset option. And that's where you're going to go. And this is pretty consistent across everything they do. It's called EFX motions. And basically, there's a bunch of generators that control these different effects modules. So you've got your filters, and the filter is this filter over here, and then we can have it do things over time. And you can pick different filters. They've got really fun ones, like a notch, or some comb filters, phaser type stuff. And the triggering sources are extensive. If you come in here, you've got a clock, envelope, Euclidean, which is a like fancy sequencer kind of. Transient and MIDI. So this allows you to link it to like audio coming in, and you can filter that audio. So say I want to work off just the plucks, I can have those plucks trigger things and try to do it that way. MIDI is kind of like the brute force way. And then of course, you have your clock and you can sync it. Something that's kind of nice about the clock too is when you click, you can tell it to use only the straights so that when you go through, you don't have to be like dancing around the ones with T's like a lot of plugins have, where you have to like make sure you're not on the triplets. So maybe we pick something a little more. And we come in here. The snapping is really nice. You can get off of it pretty easy, but it snaps pretty satisfyingly. And there's these different draw modes that allow you to, just click and draw things in, like so. And of course, you can modulate things. I might go, where are the modulators? Well, there's an advanced tab. And in the advanced tab, now, this is resizable. So, because it's gotten kind of big. We have our macros here, which are these up here. We could call these whatever we want, link them to whatever we want. And as we move them, you can see down here, this wiggles. And then we have a function generator, a sequencer, which can be linked up to things, and a random generator. So there's just a lot. And so we've got a filter, a noise generator. This thing can generate noise for us. The amount of noise is pretty big. There's a big old list. I'm pretty sure you can bring your own in. I actually haven't experimented, but the list that comes with it is really good. So there's the noise list. There is the ability to control drive over time. And then you got a whole bunch of different drive sources. We'll go stairs. That one's pretty obvious. You have the ability, we'll turn that one off. We got volume. This one's just like a general volume gate, right? So if we want to, have something every quarter note here, something like this. And these are bevels, which is super nice. And it just looks good too. They are order changeable. We could put the volume first. Maybe we want to chill it a bit on this. So let's, you know what? Let's go to free. And something I've never tried to do, but you saw it, is just delete all those at once. It's super intuitive. And put it down. Take the noise out. You've got the ability to change up panning over time. Something that the random sequencer may be a bit of a blessing for changing the pan. We could take it, just drag it on the pan, have it move things randomly about for us. And then in the back, we have the repeat area. So you can, as far as I know, you can only have one of these on at a time. And you have these different roll lengths you can do. We'll change the length here. You can link them to make them a little smoother. You can reverse one. We can pitch it, stretch it, and there's these different stretch options. We can also do a stop. So for drums and stuff, this is really wild. So there's just 1,010,000,000 options in here. It's really just scratching the surface. Honestly, the presets that it comes with, there's so many. You'll be able to find a starting point and then work from there. And the nice thing about starting with presets and categories is you can kind of pick a general effect, because it can be a little daunting opening this and you can do just 1,000,005 things. So how do you pick something? So you're going for a stutter, for example, you might go for a gated rhythm or some, there's one called stutter. And so maybe we go for stutter in here, then look at stagger. That one looks interesting. You can see it linked up to the sequencer here. And you can just do all manner of wild things. So one of the presets I found that I really like is this. Where are you at? This one. Huge swirl. It sounds so cool on this thing. Like obviously with pads, it's going to do really good. You heard one earlier that sounded almost like a kick drum coming out of it. And so I have this right now on the pads. There is also one on the bass pluck. So if I add on, if you look at this bass, there's not a bass pluck anymore, it's just a bass. So many options for taking something that was in here and turning it into something else. Works especially great with samples that you kind of like the vibe or the rhythm, but the timbre just isn't quite there. This is going to alter that dramatically. If we look in here, do we have anything marketed towards basses? I don't think so. Reverse could be an interesting one. I think honestly gated rhythms would work well. Let's check out gated rhythms, see how this goes. We'll turn off the noise. So if you ever hear extra stuff coming in, probably the noise. And let's look at gritty, a low pass. We can offset it. You can change how much motion, kind of like the modulation depth. You know, kind of interesting. Side chaining is also a very useful thing to be able to do with something like this. If you'd like to have, something duck out, you can have it act as a ducker. I think there's even an entire section just for ducking. There you go. And you can see up here sort of the filter doing its thing where we have a pass through. So you have a low pass and a high pass. And so right now we're affecting just the low end and not touching the high end. And you can change the sharpness of these crossovers. Extra pump, less pump, no bass pumping. That is it in its core. After that, it's just doing interesting things with it. So that's it on the bass. That's it on some chords. Let's toss it on this kick drum. Why not? So I have this kick here. And you better believe it could do weird things to the kick. So let me load one up. Got it on the kick. Let's see what we can get. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy to me that this can do as much as it does. And I don't know how other people feel when they're using it, but discovering the advanced tab, they usually have them up here in the corner. And now I look for them. It feels like you're just constantly finding new menus you didn't know existed. It's like if you think like, oh, it'd be nice if I could do that, it's probably in there, and it's probably in a way that makes a lot of sense, but is just out of the way for a user who's just interested in making music and not into all these details. So I really like just the architecture of it. But this is one of the plugins that comes in the Essential Bundle. Right now they're having this big sale, and it's this. $199, and I'm not sure how much they are normally. Apparently they're over $1,000. This plugin alone is so flipping cool. This one too. These two are just so much fun to play with. Fragments is like this. I'm gonna probably do a video on Fragments too, because Fragments sounds so freaking cool. It's this granular engine, but what they do with it is so musical. I feel like a lot of times when you get a granular plugin, you still have a lot to do to get it to be something really cool. Like you just given the granular engine part, but you still have to process the things in interesting ways. This takes care of a lot of that for you. I accidentally opened it when I was working on this one, and I was blown away, honestly, by it. And it was very distracting. But anyways, yeah, you get 4 effects, some preset packs, and these. And there's also a deal right now where Pigments is at $99. So this is just for the next 10 days. So I'm just tossing this at the end. That's that. Subscribe to that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.